in the midst of all this crazy stuff that's going on with something that I do not want to even say because I'm just over it. I have just been shopping online in quarantine and I've been going absolutely nuts on art supplies. So you're gonna see quite a few art supplies, new ones, pop up in my videos soon because I'm just waiting on all this stuff to arrive, basically. So while I was having a look around for some art supplies to use and buy, and you know, to extend my art supply, my very small art supplies catalogue, I came across these, and this is the Faber Castell 48 colour watercolour set. And I was like, wow, I'm going to buy these. This cost me about $50 to get here, $50 Australian. That's with postage, and I did get this from AliExpress. It came in this clear plastic thing with the Faber Castell seals on it. Here it is. Here is the red case. It's got a few scratches on it, but that's just cosmetic. So that's what it all looks like. There, it comes with this cardboard thing. So we'll pull it out of the sleeve. It comes with this, I presume, a sticker to say that it's a legit one. So this is what it looks like. It's a nice sturdy red case. It's got the little ring at the back so you can put it on your finger, hold it like so. Impressed with the casing so far. So here we go, let's open it up. Oh, we've had some spillage already. All right, so it comes with a little booklet that is completely in Chinese. Okay, so this does come off, so that's pretty cool. Oh. Slide it across and they come apart like that, so you could have that like that. That's a pretty cool idea. It's quite a big surface area, so I can mix a fair bit of stuff up on that. Now trying to get it back in is the next challenge. Okay, that was easier. Here is our 48 colors. That's the size of them there. The biggest thing with this palette, for the reason why I went the big boy, is obviously it had more colors, but it had these sort of tealy colors. So in this color here, this monster green color, that's gonna pull me in every time. I think you can get a 24, a 36, and a 48 in this. We have the little sponge to dry your brush on, and then it comes with its own water brush. What I might do is I'll probably use this brush to do the swatches with, but I won't use this to do any artwork because I'm not a huge fan of these brushes at all. This here is what these are sitting in, is a really soft plastic. It's like a really sort of it's like your cheap plastic watercolor palette type plastic, and they have a really unusual smell. They really smell. They kind of remind me of how the Marty watercolor tubes smell like. They're really strong. Like, I'm sitting here and the waft that's just coming off of these is just like hitting me in the face. Like, even my Meeden sets and all that, they have never smelt this strong. So that's another observation straight up. I really do like the packaging. Like, that's one thing that really attracted me to it as well, is the packaging. I'm gonna swatch these and yeah, see what they look like. There are the colors there. They're definitely not chalky, which is the main thing that I always look for in these sort of watercolors, is I just don't want them to be chalky. These two here, these yellows, like they're so close. Like I don't understand why they just didn't put just one in the pack, in the pack, and then give us another black. I don't know if I'm the only person out there. I don't know if you agree with me. I personally think a paint palette needs more than one black. I use a shit ton of black. Never use white. They could take the white out and put some other colors in as well. But just two blacks. Two blacks is all I'm asking for. You got your warm and your cool gray, which is cool. I think that's awesome. These interesting colors, like who would use them? I would, because monsters are that color that I draw. So I really like to use those really unusual colors. Some of them are highly pigmented, like these two, that one, the pink, whereas you got others like the lighter colors that were less pigmented. Especially this teal I was a little bit disappointed in because it wasn't as pigmented. See, a lot of this green isn't. Neither are these ones too, but I don't know if that's normal. I don't know a huge amount about that side of things. That some colors are going to be a little bit different because of their, obviously the elements that they've got to put in them to make up the colors. But we have a nice array of colors. Just painting with these, just looking around at some of them, there are, like this one up here, some of them have a little bit of a sheen to them, like a bit of a gloss. They're not like a matte sort of finish. Some of them are, but some of them, yeah, just feel really sort of a bit more glossy, as you can expect with all sort of student grade, which I assume this is just a student grade. It's not professional or anything. This really does remind me of the Meeden palettes that I have, where they're like a good watercolor. They're not like your best, they're not your worst, but they're that in between where you can do so much with. They're just versatile and good to paint with. They really would be. And yeah, so far with the swatching, they're good. I'm happy with how they feel on the paper, and I'm happy with the colors that I have. But one thing I cannot get over is the odor. They smell so strong. Like it's just insane. Like as I was doing the swatches, it was quite strong. The smell of just that sort of tube watercolor smell. What I'm going to do to test out this watercolor palette is I have drawn a Banshee here in my sketchbook. So what I want to do is I like every element to that. And I don't want to change anything. I don't want to redraw it. So what I want to do is I want to transfer that to here. So the best way to do that is with carbon paper. I highly recommend carbon paper if you want to do this. It's so much less messier and so much better than scribbling on the back of the paper and then putting the paper underneath and then transferring it that way. It's just a really messy way to do it. This helps a lot. Plus, like I got this is 25 sheets. I got this for $4 and I can use one sheet multiple times. It's insane. And even if you use a large area of it, you can still use it. Well, I'll show you. Probably the best way to describe it is see this here. I've used this quite a few times and I will still keep using this until I cannot get a result anymore. Even though, like even if you do go over those parts that are white, they don't show up as much when you trace another image because it is gone. The carbon has gone onto the paper here or whatever, you know, it has gone onto the paper. But yeah, I will, it's just for a general idea, a general gist of the piece. I'm not putting a huge amount of details. I just want to capture what I have done. What I'll do now is I'll just put that on top like that and then put it under there, and I will transfer this image onto this bit of paper. I mainly just want her face because I really like how ugly her face is and how trolly her face looks. So I want to keep that, and I just want to keep the general, just the general outline of her body and legs and everything. Cool. So there we go. There's just the general idea of all the features that I really wanted to capture and not draw again. The rest is just, you know, I'll fill in them later, but that's why I really love carbon paper. Probably the only downside to carbon paper is it is a little bit harder to erase. So if you got a really good rubber, it should erase it. But yeah, it can be a little bit difficult, especially when you get one of these carbon papers like brand new and it's got full of carbon. It's a little bit harder to erase. But yeah, like I said, if you got a really good eraser, it does come off a majority of the time. But just be a little bit mindful that it might not. So all I'll do now is I'll go in and fill a little bit of the, fill the detail in, and then add the rest to, you know, how I wanted to do it. For this illustration today, it is going to be a Banshee. And if you don't know what a Banshee is a female fairy or spirit that derives from the Irish folklore that wails and shrieks when there is a death in the family or if there is about to be a death in the family. There's so many interpretations of what people think banshees look like over the years and the history of it all. So I just went ahead and did my own version of what I think a banshee looks like. So I made her very sort of fairy elf-like with pointed ears and very black eyes. I just really wanted to make her super creepy and have very, like, sort of have some very troll type features. I didn't want her to be overly pretty. I really wanted to have her look quite eerie and scary, and also wanted to elongate her fingers and just give her a monster feel to her. With a lot of descriptions of banshees, I noticed that a common theme was that they had red hair. So I was definitely going to add red hair to her to make her look extremely fiery. And I also made her skin that real pale blue that's in the palette. That is the first color that I use from this palette, is the blue, that sort of tealy, aquary sort of the blue, not the full-on like the actual proper teal, the light retro teal. It's the blue one, and I definitely do not regret doing her skin like this blue sort of color. It definitely, I think in the end, it ties this piece together with making her skin blue. I really enjoyed doing this. I really worked on this piece for a couple of days. I really wanted to take my time, slow my process down a fair bit, and just work on a few techniques and really work on making a really, really nice piece. So the packaging that these Faber Castell half pan watercolors came in was very impressive. Straight up, I really liked the hard plastic coating packaging that it came in. I thought that was really, really cool. Like, you could use that for so many things and recycle that. And the cardboard packaging with that sticker that was in the bottom right corner. I did Google that to see if it was like a authentication, like an authentic sticker. I couldn't find anything on it, so I only assume that this sticker, because you do see it on quite a bit of, like, on products where they make it like it's like they say this is an authentic product. So I'm assuming that that's what it is. The outer case, the red casing was just, it was nice. It was plastic. It was a hard plastic. I didn't mind it too much. Usually I go for like a tin, but it was nice. It's actually a really good sturdy plastic. I still wouldn't like to drop it. I think it would definitely break if you dropped it, but yeah, it's very sturdy. Now, that plastic on the inside where the watercolors sit in, I think that was quite cheap, to be honest with you. That was a cheap touch to that. I reckon they should have put them in something a little bit different. It just really cheapens the packaging up and the whole feel of it. But really, in the scheme of things, you don't really notice it a huge amount, but yeah, it's, when you know it's there and you focus in on it, it's just a little bit tacky, I think. I think that the inside should have been like a hard plastic, or even like a tin, or the rose, the metal rose that you see in other palettes out there. Just for the money, I think that they could have done that in that palette. Now, to the paints, like I said, I do believe that these are definitely better than the mediums that I have, purely because they just seem to be a lot smoother, and they definitely layer really, really nicely. And also, this is a big thing to me when it comes to watercolors, is they do not reactivate easily. So I could definitely go over the top with another color, like say if I was shading areas. And yes, I am comparing these to the Meedens at the moment. The Meedens are pretty good for not reactivating. They still do to a certain level. And they do it fairly, it's not, I wouldn't say it's really easy that they reactivate, but they do it if you go over it a couple of times. Where I found with these Faber Castell, if you went over them a couple of times or more, there was very, very, very little reactivating, and I really do like that because I hate it. I hate it when watercolors reactivate really easy because I do like to put certain colors over other colors. I've got a bad habit of doing that, and I do not want to have a watercolor that's going to be easily activated, and especially like the Vivivas where they blend in, where they just mix with the color beside it, even if they're already dry, and they could be dry for a day. They still, if you run up the side of where the color is with another color, it reactivate instantly and just bleed in together. And that's why I don't use my Vivivas very often, if not at all, because as much as they've got a beautiful pigment, they are just crazy in reactivating just so easily, and that frustrates me. So I do believe that these paints are pretty good pigment wise for just a student grade. I think they're just, I really do enjoy all the colors, and yeah, I do believe that this is probably my favorite palette that I own now. Meaden's definitely comes in a very close second compared to this, and my Meaden's were always a good paint, and they always will be a good paint for me in the mid-range to like the student range collection. But yeah, these Faber Castell have definitely just got a little bit more on the Meaden in this case. And the other thing I really enjoyed too is I was able to go over the top of the watercolor with my fine liners and not have the watercolor clog the pens up. My Meadens do a little bit of clogging. They're not too bad, but you still can't run over the top of them in certain areas, especially when you've layered watercolors. But these paints were just awesome for that. They did not come off onto the pen and did not clog the pen up, so that was really enjoyable because it just seems to just not reactivate when the pen goes over the top, or leave like a residue that can then potentially clog the pen up, and that was really good. So they've definitely sold me, and I would definitely order these again. They are really good paints, and I honestly truly believe that anyone could give these a go. Like, give them a go. They are really good paints. I'm very impressed with them, and you know me, I will not push something unless I am 100% backing it and behind the product. I do not believe in pushing a product that I don't like. So I honestly believe that these are a good student grade watercolor, and you will definitely get really good results with them. So I'm just finishing up the piece now. It was very boring, so I decided to add flowers onto her dress. Well, I am thoroughly impressed with these paints. Totally recommend them if you are after like a student grade. These are not professional by any means. I am very happy with them. I reckon they're slightly better than my Meaden, and for the price they should be. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and enjoyed what I made with these colors. I do recommend these. So I do have a link below to where I got these from, and it is an affiliate link, so it does give me a little bit of commission. No expense to you, but it does give me a little bit of commission to sort of help me out with my channel. I am out of here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.